Hey, what's up guys? It's Mika. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here today. It's been a really long time since I've filmed a video like this, but I for a while now have been wanting to sit down and make it, and I actually had to go back and reflect on how I even got to this place I am now, where I am so comfortable with myself and the woman that I am. I kind of took a hiatus from making these kind of videos in the last year. I think I've mentioned before, but I just needed a year to be selfish in my own happiness. And I actually sat down with my sister recently. I felt like everything was so perfect in my life and I was so happy, but there was something that I felt wasn't aligned, and that was me sitting down and making these kind of videos again. I feel like in the last year I have kind of closed myself off and closed my vulnerability off from the online world, and I think it's due to the amount of hate that I started to get. A few big incidences that have happened in my life that I think have genuinely like scarred me from being able to be vulnerable online or show anything that people could attack. And I realized that I am not gonna be like a fully fulfilled person unless I am helping and inspiring others in a way that's deeper than surface. I feel like I've subconsciously cultivated this just two-dimensional version of myself that I feel like people can't attack, which is crazy because people still attack me. But I stopped being vulnerable, and I've definitely tried to open up more in my recent videos, as you might have been able to tell. I've been talking about mental health and I've been sharing a lot more about where I've been at in my life. But yeah, I've just been so career and money orientated over the last year because I've been really trying to like secure a life for myself here and achieve some of the goals that I set out to achieve. And so I decided to go down more of the fashion route, and I neglected the part of my channel and my social media presence that feels like it's making a difference in, like, I don't know, the greater consciousness of the world. And I'm an Aquarius like through and through, and so I feel like the reason I haven't been fully fulfilled in doing what I'm doing, even though I've been absolutely loving it, don't get me wrong, but I just want to help people. I just want to make the world a better place than when I left it. And so I feel like I've maybe not been fully aligned in that over the last year because I've been focusing on like this whole material part of my life, which I also like absolutely like love and identify with. Like, it's part of who I am, but it's difficult to balance the two. And so I think it's easier to pick one or the other when you're online, because otherwise people are going to just find all these flaws in who you are, because fashion can be an ego-driven world in the larger scale of things. I guess like I felt like if I went down that route and I just like put my spirituality on the back burner, or those kind of videos, that people would stop attacking me constantly and grilling me and like making me feel like I wasn't enough because I wasn't spiritual enough. Because spirituality is just something you've got to practice in your own way. And for me, the thing that's made me the happiest is about finding the balance between the two worlds, and I want to start bringing them together again. That's why I'm sitting down basically and filming this video, and I want to make more videos like this, and I want to share more content like this in service to you guys and, I don't know, the greater consciousness of the planet. I want to put out some good juju and some good vibes and make people feel better about themselves and life. And it's hard to do that when I'm just staying in my safe two-dimensional posting outfit pictures and talking about clothes all the time, Mika, because that's just only one fragment of who I am. Obviously today I wanted to make my first video in talking about the combination of personal style, fashion, self-expression, and loving yourself, and tapping into some spiritual philosophies to help you dress however you want to dress and be your authentic self, whatever that means to you. I feel like definitely in the last like year, my fashion has been a total reflection of my own like growth and acceptance of who I am. Like, I really do wear whatever I want to wear, and I always stick out like a sore thumb, and I'm okay with that. I feel like for a lot of people, they're afraid of being seen, maybe because there's a lot of negative connotations that come with standing out and dressing extravagantly, because they don't want the assumptions or the negative connotations of you are an attention seeker, like you are dramatic, you are too much. Like, I've been called every name under the sun in relation to how I dress. I've had so many like ideas of who I am projected onto me by people who don't know me based on what I wear or how I look or how I like choose to present myself to the world, which is so bogus. And I genuinely think that for me, having so much hate projected on me in school based around how I looked and the idea of who I was from pictures of me online, from my blog, which I started when I was 13, and then my YouTube channel, which I started when I was 15. My whole school experience was me being made to feel like I was into myself too much because I dressed a certain way that brought a lot of attention to myself, even though I didn't want it. That was never my intention. And I feel like for a lot of people who have this yearning to express themselves and wear things that maybe do make you stand out, like, it's never a choice of I want to wear this because I want to bring attention to myself. That's something that you like, you gravitate towards it. It's not a choice, that's who you are. And for a lot of people, and for me, like, my personal style and the clothes that I put on my back and the wigs that I wear and the makeup that I do on my face, that is just pure self-expression. And no, it wasn't birthed from self-expression. And I feel like a lot of us, when we're younger, we try different things because we're told that, like, that's what's cool, or like we wear makeup because we're insecure and we feel like we need to look a certain way. But once you start that journey of self-love, slowly those layers start to peel back, and you start to figure out what truly resonates with you and what makes you feel most authentic to you. And like, it's hard for a lot of people to understand who, you know, don't have this gravitational pull towards these unconventional ways of expressing yourself, because it's not your natural form. For many years I was made to feel like I was fake. Fake was the word that is used so much to try and make people who wear makeup or wigs or dress in weird ways, or, you know, wear fake eyelashes or have filler in their face. The word fake has been used so many times to devalidate somebody's own form of self-love and expression, because although those things can be used to like hide who you truly are, I feel like if you're trying to fit in or be an image that you think is going to make you more successful, for a lot of people, and for me, those things I do are a form of self-love and self-expression, because I'm cultivating the person that I am in my head, the person who is, like, I feel most aligned with who I am when I am projecting the me that's in my head to the world. And I do that through, you know, like the body modifications, or wearing what I want, or like, you know, wearing my wigs, having my filler, wearing makeup. I don't care if people think that that's fake, because this is how I feel truest to me. And you have to notice the difference between doing something because you're insecure and you feel like you're not good enough, and doing something because you know that you are good enough and you deserve to feel good about yourself. And that's speaking from somebody who has had body dysmorphia like my whole life. Like, for me, I had to figure out like how to love myself to match the person I was, like, in my head, and that was not what my natural form was. And I was tired of feeling shamed by people for wanting to change my natural form, because that was the only right way to love yourself. And I just feel like that's so wrong. And I feel like, you know what, every single one of us is on a different journey in life. We have a different lens, we have a different reality and perception of self-love, beauty and happiness. And all I know is I feel aligned and I feel in truth and in service to myself, and nothing other people say is going to change that. People are always telling me in my videos, you know, you're too much, your lips are too big, your eyebrows are too thick, like, and I just laugh, because I think how can someone genuinely think they're helping me by telling me to change something about myself that was a choice? And I wanted to talk more about fashion because that's what people ask me about the most. I have a few things that I always tell people who ask me that question, and I'm gonna relay a few of them back to you because some of these thoughts that I had have really stuck with me through the test of time. And I say they're thoughts that I've had, but I feel like it's things that I've read and videos that I've watched or books that I've listened to where I've picked up on a message that's resonated with me so hard. It's something now that I carry as my personal philosophy. So the first thing is, everybody is so involved in their own lives and their own reality bubbles that they really don't care that much about what you're wearing. People are so worried about what other people think of them that really, if they're making a judgment on you, especially if you're just passing them in the street, it's a 0.1 second judgment and then they crack on with their lives. You're not part of their narrative. Everyone's narrative, everyone's story revolves around themselves, and we're all so concerned about what people think of us that we're really not. I mean, I don't really care about what other people are wearing. That doesn't upset me when I see somebody wearing something that I wouldn't wear. At the end of the day, you're dressing for you. And it's hard because in this virtual world that now exists, which is literally half of our reality, I feel. Now we live in a world where people are trying to like cultivate images of themselves to get more likes. It's a difficult world to navigate when you're trying to figure out who you are authentically. Nothing anybody does is original, and you have to stop worrying about what's on trend and what's not on trend and just focus on like what resonates with you, because no matter what you do in life, you're always going to be a product of your environment. I don't feel like I own any look that I do. I feel like I'm literally a sponge of every single person on Instagram who inspires me, and I'm a sponge of every single country that I've visited, and I'm a sponge of every single fucking movie that I've watched where I thought it was really fucking dope and now I want to like look like that character or whatever, or every anime that I've watched that I'm fucking channeling through my style. And it's okay that I'm not 100% original because I feel authentic to myself in all my bits and bobs and dribs and drabs from the world around me. And when I look at the people who inspire me the most, and this is another thing I wanted to like drop in, are not even necessarily the people who I follow like on social media who have a similar style or aesthetic that I'm like, oh yeah, dope, I would wear that. The people who inspire me the most, online and off, they're the people who are so out there. They're the people who are so shameless in their love for themselves that honestly, even though I wouldn't wear or like wear some of the stuff that they wear, or like do my makeup the way that they would, or cut my hair the way that they would, I'm so inspired by that like bravery, because it is brave to just be completely authentically you outside of society's standards of beauty and expectations, and shamelessly love yourself in a world that is constantly shaming us for owning our bodies and wearing what we want to wear and the ways in which we go against societal norms. And so it's the people that just don't give a fuck. They inspire me the most. And when I look at those people, I'm like, how can I be more like them in my own way? How can I inspire people to just not give a fuck and just live life as authentic to you? Because here's the fucking truth and the gag of it all. We all die. Our bodies, this time, it's all borrowed, you know? Everything outside of this body, it doesn't belong to us. The only thing that we are in control of is right here, right now, this moment, and how you can make yourself happier in that moment. You know, choices you can make to serve yourself in this moment. And sometimes serving yourself is serving others. Like for me, sitting down and making this video, I'm serving myself because I feel like I'm fulfilling a purpose in my life, which is to try and inspire other people to just feel a taste of what I feel now, because I didn't always feel this way about myself, you know? I feel like personal style and self-expression, it stems from self-love, you know? It stems from allowing yourself to exist be seen in a world where not everyone is going to love you and appreciate what you're doing. You could be a saint and people are still going to dislike you, you know? You can't please everyone, and that's something that I've learned the hard way from being online. And I think if we spend too much time and energy trying to impress people who will never align with like our reality and be on the same vibration or frequency as us, because people are all over the place. People are on a spectrum, and I feel like realities are on a spectrum, you know? And there's a lot of people who believe one thing, and then there's a whole lot of people who believe another thing, and a whole lot of people who believe another thing. And I feel like I believe in love. I believe in not judging someone before you know them. I believe in expressing yourself however feels right to you. I believe in following your passions in life and taking risks. I believe in exploring and venturing outside of your hometown. And I believe in wearing whatever the fuck you want, because life is too short and this feels good and it feels right. And I feel like being able to do this as well, like being able to express myself as my profession now, my job, whatever, it's honestly been the greatest gift that I could have had in life. And I feel like I must have the best karma from my last life, because I'm so grateful that this is what I get to be doing. And although to a lot of people personal style, fashion might seem so superficial or materialistic, I know that for a lot of people like me, it's life or death. Like it's my purpose. Like, and as bizarre as that might sound to a lot of people, the fact that I get to play dress up for a living, as well as sit down and make these videos for you, is incredible. And I feel like that has given me so much creative energy. Although I have changed and evolved so much over the years, I feel like the me that I am now, and the things I'm putting out online, I'm just so proud of. I'm so proud of, because I feel like it's me. And although I have not spoken or shared this part of myself for a minute, even though it is something that I'm consciously trying to do more of, I truly feel like I have found my calling. And I just want to keep using this platform now to spread a positive message and not be afraid to come out of my two-dimensional pixels on a screen bubble where I'm just posting pictures of my outfits, because although that's something that lights me up so much, I also want to sit down and give you guys the backstory and the context, which is this video, you know? Who are we living for if it's not for ourselves first? You can't pour love from an empty cup. You have to fill that self-love cup up first before you can start giving it to other people. I don't really know where I was going with this video. I don't know how cohesive all the points I made were, because I never planned these videos. I do believe in the law of attraction. I actually can't believe sometimes like how me being authentic to myself has brought so fucking many like-minded people into my life. When I was in school and I was insecure and I was trying to fit the mold, I had a really shit time and I was bullied a lot. And I think it's because at that point I was too young to even know what authenticity was. And when I left school and I went traveling for the first time, and I realized I wasn't alone in my perception of the world or my perceived reality, and that other people shared this view of love and freedom and, like, I guess more of an unconventional life and way of living, which is just nomadic. And I feel like that was always the way that I was meant to be and the way I was meant to live my life. But when I started to truly like follow that calling and follow what my heart was telling me to do, and express myself in the way that was right for me and true to me, that's when I started to make the best friends that I have now, that honestly are the fucking coolest people in the world. And I'm so lucky to be surrounded by so many incredible like-minded people. And so you do just attract those people because you're emitting that frequency and that vibration. And I feel like it's just a magnet for people of the same intentions. And now I can fucking see when someone has bad intentions, and I'm just not letting them in my energy field, you know? You're doing yourself a favor really by weeding out those people in your life who don't fully support you in your journey to happiness and loving yourself. And now that I'm free of that burden of like pleasing people in my life, because everyone in my life fully supports me and loves me, I'm just bringing more and more people with that same energy into my life. And I'm very good with my boundaries now of cutting off people and like backing away from people who do not make me feel good. And it's so okay to do that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap the video up here because I've been talking for so long. But God, I just really enjoyed filming this video. And I hope you guys enjoyed it too. And I hope that it inspires you in some way to just not be afraid to express yourself. Anyway, all I want to say is I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.